Disclaimer: the lore discussed in this video is based on fan speculation and is meant to evoke thought in the viewing audience. This content does not wholly prove or deny the points covered within, but is purely trying to expand on them. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. I'd like to start by apologizing for defeating Orphan without reporting. By the time I had realized I wasn't reporting, it was already too late. But the upside is that it gave me some incentive to try something different with my content. Today, we're going to be looking at the lore behind the Old Hunters DLC, focusing mainly on Lady Maria, the fishing hamlet, Mother Kos, and of course, the Orphan of Kos. To get a good idea of who Lady Maria is, you could start by looking at the item description for her blade, the Rikuyo. Hunter weapon wielded by Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower. A trick weapon originated in the same country as the Kanehurst Chikage. Only this sword feeds not off blood, but instead demands great dexterity. Lady Maria was fond of this aspect of the Rikuyo, as she frowned upon blood blades, despite being a distant relative to the queen. One day, she abandoned her beloved Rikuyo, casting it into a dark well when she could stomach its presence no longer. It's clear through this description that Lady Maria hides some kind of guilt, as if she's done something she regrets. Further evidence of guilt can be seen throughout the research hall, with its deformed patients frequently referring to her, saying how sorry they are for their failures. Another item in the form of a key you get from a patient named Adeline speaks of her interactions with Maria. The description reads, "Key to the balcony of the first floor of the research hall. Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower gave this to the patient Adeline. Maria had hoped that Adeline would find comfort in the faint breeze that carried the scent of flowers from the outside, but Adeline couldn't fathom her intentions." Adeline, like the many other patients of the research hall, frequently refers to the sound of water, as if it is continually dripping, and all the patients of the research hall seem to be infatuated by it, as further evidenced by the description of the enlarged head, which is clearly their main deformity. When we find Maria in the clock tower, she is bloody and slumped over in her chair, assumed to be dead. However, those thoughts are quickly dashed as you reach for her and she springs to life saying these words: "A corpse should be kept well alone." Oh, I know very well how the secrets beckon so sweetly. Only an honest death will cure you now, liberate you from your wild curiosity. It can be assumed that whatever secrets she's hiding are related to her own guilt, and that she doesn't want you going down the same road. Upon defeating Maria, new truths are revealed. One being that the doll within the hunter's dream is somehow connected to her. Gehrman, being an old hunter like Maria, and having created the doll, it seems more than likely that something terrible happened to Maria, and in his grief, Gehrman created the doll in her image. Perhaps, when she was slumped over in her chair, it depicted what really happened to her when she could hold on to her guilt no longer. After defeating her, she drops the celestial dial. Its description reads, "A celestial dial that functions with the giant astral clock in the Grand Cathedral. When the dial is held up towards the astral clock, the clock will come to life and reveal a secret to its curious interloper." After passing through the clock's threshold, we see what Maria was hiding from us. A dark, damp, forsaken village, surrounded by the sea, as if it could swallow the entire expanse in an instant. Arriving at the opening to a village, we meet a strange character, who opens with these words: "Bergenworth, Bergenworth, blasphemous murderers, blood-crazed fiends, atonement for the wretches, by the wrath of Mother Kos, mercy for the poor wizened child, mercy, oh please." Upon talking to him further, he continues with this: "Atonement for the wretches, lay the curse upon them and their children and their children's children forevermore, each child into a life of misery. Mercy for the poor, wizened child. Let the pungence of costs cling like a mother's devotion. It's immediately clear what curse he's talking about, as you could see the effects throughout the DLC. Very few of the hunters are friendly, and even the ones who are may not be too trustworthy. The best representation of the curse is the description for the eye of the blood-drunk hunter. The eye of a blood-drunk hunter. Its pupil is collapsed and turned to mush, indicating the onset of the scourge of beasts. A hunter who goes drunk with blood is said to be taken by the nightmare, destined to wander forever, engaged in an endless hunt. It is a fate that no hunter can escape. The curse takes its form in the nightmare, a hunt without end, and an unquenchable thirst for blood. But the question is why? Why are the hunters cursed? What has happened here to lead the hunters to such a cruel fate? That discovery has yet to be made, but it can be assumed that it has something to do with Mother Koss, and so we venture further in to see what kind of atrocities the hunters could have committed here. On further examination, it seems that nothing would really change if the sea swallowed this place, as its inhabitants all seem to be crossed with some kind of sea creature, and none of them are happy to see you. They charge at you with reckless abandon, all too willing to see you fall. Once you've made it far enough in, you can see the truth, although it isn't immediately apparent. A large creature sitting lifeless on the shore, calling to you to investigate it further. At the entrance to the beach, you see rows of these strange snail creatures, all knelt down in prayer, as if to honor a higher power. And then you see it. At the cave's opening, this creature, this giant, dead being, was once Mother Koss. The truth is all too easy to imagine. It can be surmised that Koss met her end by the hunters, and Maria felt guilt, not only for the being she helped destroy, but the lives wasted in the Healing Church's selfish crusade for knowledge. After all, in the beginning, the hunters served the Church, and it was their will that saw them slay beasts. The Church's folly is that this was no mere beast. This was a great one, a celestial being of the highest degree, and in the pursuit of knowledge, instead of communing with Koss, they ordered her to be killed. Koss was dead, but the curse remained, which left one more secret. The wizened child for which the old priest referred to had yet to reveal itself. Koss was pregnant when she was killed. And usually, great ones lose their children, but in a cruel twist of fate, this child lost their mother. It doesn't take long to see movement, and suddenly the creature emerges from under the beached corpse, whimpering and crying for its mother's embrace. Upon seeing you, the creature rushes at you, ready to bring its mother justice. The orphan is unique in that it's not just fighting you out of fear or hunger. The orphan has seen the cruelty of man and its mother's demise, and is rushing at you, with grief and hate being its only true motive. The orphan hates you and the hunters for what you've done, and it's going to make you and all other hunters like you pay for your ancestors' mistakes. This creature is the source of the nightmare and the source of the curse. It can't be reasoned with, so the only way to stop it is to let it face the hunt. This could be what the priest meant by mercy, as it seems that there would only be misery in this being's life. After defeating the orphan, you can see a shade of it silently looming over its mother's corpse. If you talk to the priest with the milkweed rune equipped, he will greet you with a few more words. Curse here, curse there. A curse for he and she, why care? A bottomless curse, a bottomless sea, source of all greatness, all things that be. Listen for the baneful chants. Weep with them as one in trance, and weep with us Oh, weep with us. He then gives you the accursed brew. Skull of a local from the violated fishing village. The inside of the skull was forcibly searched for eyes, as evidenced by the innumerable scratches and indentations. No wonder it was stewed in village curses. They who offer baneful chants weep with us as one in trance. This description proves that the village was not always in the state that it's in now. The atrocities present here were caused by the hunters' intrusion. The church ordered the hunters to perform these gruesome acts, and in doing so, they cursed the village, they cursed the hunters, and they cursed themselves. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I didn't talk your ears off too much, and I certainly hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, feel free to leave a like or voice your opinions in the description below. And thanks again. I'll see you guys on the full side of the moon. Lone Wolf Gamer, out.